studio by politician Comrade Daniel Mackenzie Ncube to give us an insight into the new developments in the ruling party. Comrade Ncube, welcome to News Hour.
Thank you very much.
Now, Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa and Comrade Phelekezela Mpogo are the new party vice presidents. Your take on that?
These are highly tried and tested leaders who have walked through hardship with His Excellency. They've been appointed especially for their integrity and probity, and also for the fact that when they are given a mandate or an assignment, they work beyond the call of duty. So being trusted is very important.
Has there been any disappointments, you think, from some quarters? We know that in the build-up to today, there's been predictions on the social media, in the print and electronic media on who would take those two posts. Do you think there are some disappointments, or are these the surprises that President Robert Mugabe spoke about?
There could well have been some surprises or some disappointments, but generally from all those whom I normally come into contact with, there's been a lot of happiness. Happiness in that the president has of late or lastly been in a position to pick lieutenants whom he can trust and trust completely, because there's nothing as heart-rendering as being betrayed by one who is very close to you.
Now,
as was the case with Vice President Mjuru.
Now, President Robert Mugabe, and we believe the whole of the ZANU-PF party, have scrapped the posts of national chairman. The president, when he addressed the Central Committee today and the Politburo members, he said the posts or the duties of the national chairman will be alternating between the two vice presidents. What is your comment regarding that development?
That has been done to ensure that the vice presidents are busy all the time, because there is nothing as bad as an idle mind. So I think the president, in his wisdom, he realized that the two vice presidents, particularly with their capacity for work, they would be in a position to cover the position of national chairman.
Mm-hmm. The president also, Comrade Ncube, spoke about unity and delivery. What is it that was in the old setup that failed?
In the old setup, there were people who were actually plotting behind the president. That's why he has come up with a Politburo which is rather lean and mean, consisting primarily of highly tested cadres, so that he is in a position to actually put his finger on the pulse and ensure that every one of those head of departments can deliver, and deliver for the benefit of the generality of Zimbabweans.
So can we safely claim that the issue of factionalism has been dealt with once and for all? There are also some who claim that, but what if this is a faction that is actually won? Is this a faction that is won, or is the party that is won?
The issue of factionalism doesn't come into the picture at all now, because the new constitution has actually been put in such a framework that there is only one center of power. So, and then also forewarned is forearmed. The president will now be alert to anybody who is doing any shenanigans behind his back. So there will not be any factionalism. And those who are not in a position to deliver, there are many others standing on the wings, ready to take over.
Now, another development, Comrade Ncube, that we have noted is the new portfolio of war veterans that is in the Politburo. What do you make of this?
I think it's generally in recognition of the sacrifices which war veterans went through, and the elevation which the president has actually done to this portfolio is to ensure that the welfare of war veterans is catered for fully, and there will not be any murmurings anymore. Everybody will now know that where to go regarding issues of war veterans, who are a very important component of our life.
Do you also think it's a way maybe by the president to acknowledge the work that the war veterans did? We know that prior to today, the war veterans led in most of the calls for the votes of no confidence that were passed on a number of ZANU-PF officials. They were steered by the war veterans. Do you think this is a way of the president saying thank you to the war veterans?
That could well be. That question could primarily be answered by the president. But in my view, I would like to think that the president at last realized that the war veterans have got a central and a pivotal role to play in the affairs of Zimbabwe. And they've got to keep walking the straight and narrow path, and their welfare has got to be catered for.
Now, just briefly, the two new vice presidents, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa and Comrade Phelekezela Mpoko, what task awaits them?
It's really an onerous task, because the president is a very high taskmaster, very hard taskmaster. They were chosen very carefully, I'm sure, from among the central committee members. So they bubble to the top because they've got that thing which is different from others, either in terms of being trustworthy and also being loyal and being in a position to deliver. And I know for certain that these two cadres, they work beyond the normal call of duty. In some cases, putting on 16, 18 hours per day. That is commendable.
Comrade Ncube, it's been a pleasure having you on News Hour. That was Comrade Daniel Mackenzie Ncube discussing the latest developments there in the ZANU-PF party. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All your views and comments are welcome. Kindly get in touch with the producers of News Hour on the following platforms.